welcome back to my channel. It is now in the evening and I made a horrible mistake of filming my entire bag collection before I did this. So that one has already been filmed. I was putting it off because I was trying to think of a way where it wouldn't be so long, and I think it was longer than ever. I'm going to quickly count how many bags I did because I just filmed for 3 hours and don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 32, okay, well I've already counted over 50, so you imagine 50 designer bags to talk about. Anyway, you can look forward to that. This is my entire Chanel bag collection. Then it will be my Hermes collection, which I haven't filmed. I'll do that tomorrow or something. And then it will be my entire handbag collection. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. Hit the bell button because you don't want to miss any of these videos that I've been filming. I hope not anyway. And then I'll probably go back to my normal styling hauls, and you've got my wardrobe refurbishment to look forward to. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm just going to do a tiny little intro. It's exactly the same thing I said in my fall designer bag video, because I know these kind of videos attract new people. I have been a blogger for about 8 years, fell into it accidentally when it wasn't really a thing. My whole career I've been a stylist, styling your everyday woman, sometimes men, to celebrities, done music videos, done all kinds of styling, magazines, all kinds, and I still do freelance now. I tend to focus more on luxury. I do like beauty, travel and high street. I tend to focus more on luxury because that's just what I like. And more everyday kind of wear. I love Chanel, I always have done. A lot of people think that my name Claire Chanelle is made up because I love Chanel so much, and it's not true. Chanel is my real name. That's why it's spelled a weird way. That is the way that you spell the name. So just to confirm, my real name is Claire Chanelle. That is my birth name, the name that I will always have, just to clarify that. It's not because I'm that obsessed with Chanel. I just like Chanel as a brand. I love like how it slightly has a masculine touch to it. Like, I'm not a complete tomboy, but I've always been a tomboy, and I gravitate towards mixing feminine with luxury. I call feminine with luxury, feminine with masculine, and I call myself, my style, like a girly tomboy, and I really feel like that's what Chanel is. I love the Chanel ready to wear. There's always something like the boy bag, it is a little bit masculine, the chain, everything is just my style, and I love it. So this is an updated version of my Chanel collection, and without further ado, let's get into it. So I don't have my bags like this all the time. I used to, because I actually used to have more Chanel bags than this, and I now have a newfound love with Hermes. Doesn't mean I don't love Chanel any less, because I don't. I dip into all kind of designer bags, and you'll see that on my full designer haul. And I love Dior, I love Hermes, and I don't just stick to Chanel anymore. So I have sold a few, and I used to have like this entire Chanel wall like this, and it would be mixed with some shoes, some jewellery, more books that I have that are now in my, other rooms. And I think I actually might still do it. I don't know, because I'm changing this wardrobe. I might still do it, but at the moment I've just done this for the video. And I'm thinking about maybe changing up the bags that I have. So that's why I wanted to film this now. So I've literally just spoken about all these bags, but I'm going to try and tell different information. I am going to start with the bag that I bought first and go from there. And I'll try and give you as much Chanel information as I can. The first one that I'm going to talk about is, I'm going to grab the first three that I bought, and the only one that I can remember that I have sold is a boy bag that was basically the same colour as my trendy, and there was no point having two bags exactly the same. They were too similar. Okay, so my first bag is, there might be some crossover information when you see the other full designer video, but this is just Chanel, so hopefully it's not too repetitive. I'm going to come a bit forward as well. So this was the first bag that I ever bought. It's a classic flap. I saved up for a year to buy this. I was working at Harrods at the time. I worked there for 3 years as a fashion specialist. It's very dark outside, so that's why I have this ring light on, so hopefully it's not too distracting. I'll try and do the cutaways without a light at all so you can see the natural colours. So this was always my dream bag for years. I spent about a year saving for it. I went to go buy it and it had gone up that day. So I had to go away for another month, save everything I have. I literally at that point thought I'd never have a Chanel bag. So if you're feeling that you desperately want a Chanel bag and you're never going to get one, I used to feel like that, and look at me now. I don't even know how many. I honestly don't even know how many there are now. I'm going to write it across here and count them in a second. And that is, believe me, that is not because I don't care. I'm just not doing it. The reason why I don't do that is because at one point I had 19 Chanel bags, and I had it in my head I had to get it to an even number, to 20. And I ended up buying a bag that I didn't even really want. So I kind of just forget about the numbers. I'm not here to build up a, amount of numbers. I just buy a bag when I really like it. So I tend not to really think about the numbers. So this is a Caviar leather, gold hardware. And actually the time when I bought it, it had the black interior, and now they do burgundy interior. So if you ever go to buy a pre-loved one, it's black. Don't be worried that it's a fake. I think it was 2003 or 7. I think it was 2007 that this was the last collection that they did the black interior, and I actually really like it and feel really grateful and lucky that I got one with the black, so I actually prefer it. So yeah, it's black inside. It's very durable, the Caviar. I have so much to say, but I'm worried that I've already said it in the other one, but that's not even out yet. So this is a Caviar leather, and don't worry if you have Caviar calfskin. I love the calfskin. I have many bags in calfskin. In France, I've told you before, they do tend to lean towards the lambskin because back in the day it used to be more expensive. Now it's the same price. And this generation and from generations to come is going to be equal and the same. So don't worry about that. Just something just to know, Chanel information. That was my first one. I can't recommend these bags enough, and if I ever had to choose one bag, I am a huge fan of the trendy or the top handle, some people call it, but I just think you can't go wrong. And if you do want one, don't make the mistake of buying a few seasonal bags, because the seasonal bags like this are always going to be less expensive, obviously as long as they're not exotic or something like that, but they're always more affordable because they're not a classic. But don't, for example, there could be a classic that could look kind of like this with a pearl chain or whatever is in trend at the moment. If you really want the classic flap or the classic reissue or the classic boy bag, I advise you to hold on and wait for that, and don't keep buying seasonal pieces. Seasonal pieces don't hold their value as much as the classic does, but Chanel is one of the top brands in the world that keeps their value. So against a brand like Christian Dior, a Chanel bag is always going to hold its value a little bit more. This bag, I think I paid $2,400 for it. I haven't bought a classic in so long, but I think that they're around 4,000 now, maybe 3,000 something. So I could sell this for more than what I paid for it. So that's a trick to tell your other half if you really want to buy something. They do increase in value, they do hold their worth, and if you're doing well at work at the moment and you want to treat yourself, and maybe in 5 years time you have children and you can't really afford to have a luxury like this, just know that you will get your value, your money back. That's something I really love about Chanel, even though I don't buy to sell. This is another favourite of mine. I love how vintage it looks. It was a seasonal piece. The price was really good. It done really well. It performed really well. It came in navy and white, which also looked really great. And they brought it back the next season, £800 more, and I've never seen it since. I just love the way that it looks so vintage. It's the perfect size. It looks great as a clutch, great as a crossbody. I love red with jeans and a white tee, but this is also really good for the evening, and it's such a unique bag. And it done exactly what I wanted it to do. I wanted a red bag, didn't want to spend as much as a classic flap, and this was perfect. Sometimes when you see a Chanel, you just have to buy it and don't think about it. And when it comes to buying a very expensive bag like a Chanel bag, you have to, or even an Hermes bag, or whatever bag it is, whatever bag that you want to buy, or whatever investment, you have to get the butterflies. And I always say that if I'm texting my friend, my mum, should I get this, should I not, I don't get it, because I know that I haven't fallen head over heels for it. So bear that in mind. If you love it and you just go for it, it means that you really love it. Whenever I go to buy a very expensive bag and I'm new, or shoes and I'm new to buying that brand, I always go for a black one first, or maybe a light neutral. So that's when I bought this one. I really wanted a reissue. I'm very glad I got the reissue when I did, because they're very expensive now. Very, very expensive. They're more expensive than the classic flat. This was the first bag that Gabrielle designed. This, as many of you know, is inspired by the orphanage chains that Gabrielle grew up on, and they had the heavy keys off of this. Many of you know about the love note pocket. Yeah, you all know about that. I don't really want to repeat information like I think I'm some sort of Chanel expert. It's the same kind of setup as the classic flat. 2 pockets here. I always keep my phone here. Don't keep your phone here, because I did once and it got stolen. I was in Chelsea, I was by Harrods. It's kind of like the place where you think you're not going to get robbed, and I was. So try not to keep anything too important in here. I know it's very easy and accessible for you to get, but it's also accessible for everybody else. So try not to put anything too expensive in there. I always keep my phone at the front there. So this is my only reissue, and I've never been tempted to buy one since. I'm glad I have this one out of my system, and I think it's going to be a bag that I feel like I'm really low, you know. I feel like it's going to be a bag that I'm going to wear a lot when I'm older, if that makes sense. I also feel like this is too bright. I hate filming in the evening. That other bag took me that other video took me so long. That's my only reissue. I just think it's really chic. I love that bag. I love the size as well. And you can't go wrong with a classic. Just going to grab these two. This is a Chanel purse that I have, a Chanel wallet. I tend not to wear a Chanel wallet too much, because I'm going to show you my other purse that I have. I used to always wear this when I used to go to work, like go to work every single day. When you work, when you're not working from home, you do need a bigger bag and you do need a bigger purse. I am now basically freelance. I work a lot from home. So when I do pop out, I don't really need that purse. It's actually got oil all over it on this side. I bought it when I was in Harrods, and I always go for a red purse, because when you're finding it in your bag, it stands out, and also red is meant to bring you money. It's like just a myth, I think. I don't know. I thought I'd give it a go. Kind of did work. I had it for a day. I put it in the storeroom, in the staff area in Harrods, and somebody had spilt the whole lunch over it. I was so upset. And it's still there, and it really bothers me. But I still really love this purse. I'm never going to get rid of it. I tend to use, let me quickly go grab it. Paris bought it for me when I hit 25k on Instagram. He's actually never bought me a present for hitting any other number, but I really don't worry about the number of followers that I have. Sometimes some people ask me how many followers I have, and sometimes I go and check, so I really don't know. And something I explained in my other video, my full designer bag video, is that I know that these kind of videos, my handbag video, my walk-in wardrobe video, my Hermes collection, they get way more hits, like 50 times the amount of hits, anything from 100,000 to 500,000 views, which obviously means I grow more, I make more money, and I could just jump on that and always keep doing what's in my Chanel bag. And I don't mind anyone doing that. I don't begrudge anyone doing it. It's just not how I work with my channel. I don't jump on the things that I know are going to do well. I'd never do any shocking titles. Like if I put 50 designer bags, people might think that's clickbait, but it is the truth. It is literally 50 bags. So yeah, I just film kind of what I like. So, and I don't worry about the number of following that I have, as long as I'm enough to make a living and enjoying it and feeling good about it. That's all I ever wanted. So, and anything more than that is a bonus. So this is my coin purse. Paris bought it for me for my 25,000 subscribers a few years ago, and I love it. I use it every single day. Even when I have like my really big bags, I love this purse. It's so strange. I don't know can you believe that I only have this purse? I have a beautiful Celine wallet. I really love this wallet. I nearly bought myself an Hermes wallet and I thought, what's the point? And it's because I love mini bags, and this fits there, but I want my vlogging camera, I want all sorts of things in there, and I can't recommend these enough. They fit everything, and I love the way, like in here at the moment, I've got so many cards, I've got Dior bracelets, I always have medication in there. They're great, I absolutely love them. This is probably my all-time favourite Chanel bag, this and my grey Caviar classic flap. This was bought the very first time that the Trendies or top handle bag was released. I didn't buy it because it's lambskin and it's beige, and I thought, oh, it's so expensive. It was around 3,400, something like that. 3,200, which is very expensive for a seasonal bag. It wasn't a classic, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I thought, I'm just going to buy it and I'm going to be really careful with it. I am careful with my bags, I really am, but I'm trying to think how I word this without sounding like an idiot or not make any sense. But obviously sometimes I do get caught in the rain, and I really try to use the mindset of it's only a bag. As much as you think I might be obsessed with bags, I'm really not as obsessed as people think. I never live beyond my means. I never buy anything on credit. I've never had a credit card. I only have it for like credit score reasons. I just have a passion for it, and of course if I drop it and I ruin it or do something, I'd be really upset, but it's just the bag. So I do kind of look after it, and if I'm in the rain I try to cover it, but I won't have a breakdown or anything. So I literally was in the rain all day yesterday. I couldn't help it, there's nothing I could do, and it's perfect. It doesn't have any spots, it's way more durable. Lambskin is way more durable than you think, and this is a shiny lambskin, whereas my baby pink one is a matte lambskin. Matte lambskin is way more delicate, so don't be afraid of lambskin. It's beautiful. I love the way it ages, especially the black lambskin, and it is still seen in places like France as the more superior leather, but it isn't now, so don't worry too much about that. It is the same price now, but if you are concerned about lambskin or caviar, please don't, but do know that the matte lambskin is a bit more delicate. So I'll show cutaways of this when it's not with the ring light. But this has a lot more scuffs. It is older, but I've had this about 4 years and it really isn't damaged like this one. So yeah, there's a difference between the ever so slightly coated lambskin and the matte one. But I get a lot of questions. I'm trying to answer all the questions that I get asked. So yeah, don't worry about the lambskin. I love this because I love a top handle bag. I just find that you can get a different feel out of it. So I can wear it like this. I can wear it like this, I can throw it over my shoulder, across my waist. There's about 4 different ways of wearing it, which I love that about it, and I just love the feeling of a top handle bag. I love how much I can fit inside it. There's 3 compartments, there's a zip compartment, it's maroon leather inside. You can completely take this chain off if you like, I'll show you. Because it is like that, you can completely take it off, which I really love. And then it has the classic flap pocket at the back, and I do love this bit here because you can't always see it, but you can appreciate it when you're looking down. So it's kind of something for the owner of the bag to see and enjoy, which I really love. It's the perfect colour. I've never seen this colour since. I do try and link some of my stories when I find the exact one. So if you want me if you want any of my bags that are hard to get like this one, I'm always sharing them on my stories. So that's my favourite bag. I could talk about that all day long. I get asked to sell it all the time, which would never happen. I love that bag. I did have a black one last year, and I have mentioned it a few times that something bad happened to it last year, and I don't want to get into it. I didn't even have it long, and I don't want to bring negative energy back, but yeah, I don't have it anymore and I need to replace it. It's coming out in the new season, so by the time this video goes out, it probably is going to be out Monday, like tomorrow. So I've got my name on the list and hopefully I'll get one. I love having the same kind of, like I've got this jacket for example in black. If I love something, I always get it in a dark colour and a light colour. This is my other favourite bag. This is definitely a tie. I don't know which one I would choose. They're both 2 bags that I would never sell. This is a Caviar kind of dove grey colour with silver hardware. I also really love dove grey like this with gold, and I would really love a trendy, the chevron trendy with gold. I always prefer quilted Chanel, and I always kind of come away from chevron, but because I have a grey quilted, I would love the grey chevron. That's definitely on my list. So this is just a bag you can't go wrong with, and this is my favourite, well, one of my favourite colours. It goes with everything that I wear. I love it with pastels or black, different textures of grey. I love it so much. It's just so rare because it's the Caviar. It's so durable. There is literally not even one mark on it around the sides. I absolutely love it. I got this in America. Someone sent it to me, and I saw it once about 2 years ago, and I got that for my friend because she really wanted it, and I've never seen it since. They always do one that's slightly, like they did like a suede version, a lambskin version, but they don't normally do this one. I've only ever seen it once, and places like America normally do this kind of colour and pastels more than Europe does. But that's my other favourite one. So they're my two favourite Chanel bags, in case anyone wanted to know. And I love them just because I love the colour. I think they're really practical. Whilst I'm up here, I'll talk about these. I'm going to take off this jacket as well because this light is making this room really hot. Anything that I'm wearing here or on the cutaways, lipstick, nail polish, all the questions I think you're going to ask me, I'll leave them in the description box below. I will also leave descriptions to every single bag that I have. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to find the exact one because you can't. There's no point in linking to Chanel because you can't buy from there, and they only do the current collection. So I basically list all the places I love to buy pre-loved, and you know, I've actually seen this pre-loved once. I'll link it if I can find it. So this was my wedding gift from Paris when we got married in France. We had two weddings. Those of you that don't know, we got married in France, and we actually delayed it a few years later to actually have our legal wedding, just because time flew by. I had a couple of ill family members, and we didn't want to do it until that was all sorted. I don't know why I'm telling you this story, but that was my wedding bag for France. Typical my husband Paris, picking me something a bit quirky. At the time he knew I loved knitted bags. I still do, but that's when my knitted phase started. If you already follow me, you know I love knitwear. I have a whole, this is my walk-in wardrobe, and I have a whole other walk-in wardrobe just for knitwear. I love knitwear, and it's actually piled into this room. I have them like stored at the top. So I love knitwear. I'd actually love another knitted bag. It's kind of like a classic flap. It doesn't actually have the flap, but it has everything else inside it. I've just got a dust bag in there to bring it out. This looks lovely with a white knitted jumper, grey knitted jumper. I wear this with my pink Bauman blazer a lot. Looks great with all black, and I just love, I always recommend that if you go for something a bit crazy and a bit quirky, because I do recommend that you stick to classics, because you want to get your cost per wear. If you're going to get something a bit crazy like this, try and make it sentimental. You know, maybe a special present. I can ask for it for your 50th, 40th, 30th wedding present, engagement present, or a gift to yourself, because I love to gift myself when I've done really well. Like I bought myself this. I wasn't even looking for anything. I was just passing Chanel, fell in love with it, and I looked in the mirror and I thought, God, you look exhausted. Like I'm exhausted now. I just, for me, it's just a nice treat. I have got to the point now where I think I need to go on a holiday, not a work trip, a holiday. It's got that bad that I am that exhausted. Not like, you know, oh my God, I'm exhausted, I'm a blogger. I don't mean it like that. I just mean that when you're really tired and working really well, really hard, it's good to treat yourself. Mine is with a handbag or something nice, like a jacket or something. Some people like shoes, some people like to treat themselves to an expensive bottle of wine. Just make sure you have that something to treat yourself. I don't even know what order I'm doing in this. I'm not doing it in the way I bought bags. I'm not doing it like that. This was my phase when I was buying random colours, and I said in my big designer bag video, I'm losing what I'm saying. I've been speaking to this camera for about 6 hours, and I'm going to explain it here. And I want you to learn from my mistake. So you get 3 types of people. You get the people that are really colourful, really bright. I have a couple of friends that love colour. They pull it off so well. And also, when I say pull off, people say to me, oh, you pull it off so well. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like average height, average body, average face. It's all about confidence and what you love. Like, I can't bear it when someone says, what is she wearing? Like, I can't bear it when people say that. And I actually had people say, oh, Claire's Chanel collection is so tacky, she's got so many different colours. And I was like, how do you know? I might really like colour. Anyway, I just can't stand this kind of mentality that people speak about. Anyway, I got to the point where I had my black classic flap. It was before I had that one, but I had another shopping Chanel tote, the ETS, I can't even remember what it's called. They stopped doing it, and I was never happy with that bag. I wanted a beige classic flap, and I didn't want to spend that much money, so I bought a shopping tote. I'm going off here. I bought a shopping tote, and I always regretted it, and I sold it, and I went and bought the reissue. And I lost money on it, actually, just because I couldn't be, I hate selling things. And also it was a bag that was being discontinued and didn't really have a good reputation. Like, no one really wanted it, basically. So if you do really want a classic flap, or maybe you've got a brand bag that you really want in mind and you're buying something halfway there, don't do it. Go and just buy any bag, like one that you can afford, and wait. Don't waste your money buying like the halfway there one. It's not worth it, because you're always going to want the other one, and it will feel really good when you get the other one. So I had my black classic flap. I basically had a black one of this, a beige one of this, and the next bag, I wanted a boy bag, for example, but I don't want a black one because I've already got my black classic flap, so I bought a yellow one. And when this person said, why has Claire got so many colours? And I said, well, I've already got every neutral you can think of, so of course I'm going to go into colour. And that was kind of like, I get why I said that, but I've massively learned it doesn't matter if you have 6 black bags, 6 grey bags, 6 beige bags. Why does it matter? I love wearing outfits that go with grey bags or beige bags, or of course black. Everyone can wear black. I love these tones. I love wearing different tones of beige. I love wearing the same colour with different textures. It's just the bag that I gravitate to. So I'm gravitating to the same bag, which by the way ends up ruining that bag because you're wearing it into the ground. Whereas now, for example, I have my grey classic flap, wherever that is. I have a grey Kelly, I have a grey Birkin, I have a grey Dior, I have 2 grey Diors. Like, I have about 6 amazing grey bags, and I am about to buy another grey bag. So what? They're all different tones of grey. Some are the same tones of grey, but they're different sizes. Some are the same size, but they're a completely different vibe. One is a feminine Lady Dior. One is a everyday Birkin. Like, they are completely different. So don't worry and go and buy a yellow bag, a green bag. Oh, I already have 3 Birkins in neutral colour, so I'm just using Birkin as an example. So I'm going to buy a green one today. I'm going to buy a red one. Try not to think like that, because you actually won't wear it that much. And of course it's nice. Like, I kept the yellow one. I had bright turquoise. I had every colour you could imagine, and I just wasn't wearing them, and they didn't feel like me. But I kept the yellow one because I love just that one pop of colour. I love the velvet. And it's good to have. You know, I'm not saying don't buy colourful bags, just don't go. I hope that made sense. I'm not going to go over it. I also had this bright one, but that's sentimental. I'll get to that later. I love denim bags. I'm a real denim girl. I love wearing, they call it the Canadian tuxedo, where you wear all denim. I love that look. Like triple denim. No, I go quadruple denim and wear all denim and then a denim bag. I love the look. I love denim with all black. And I thought it looked really nice in a boy bag. And I would actually love a denim classic flap as well. So that's those 2. I'm going to talk about this one, since it's here and I just mentioned it. This was my proposal bag. So Paris has bought me this one and the engagement and wedding bag. This was, the proposal bag. We were in the Beverly Hills Hotel. That's why it's the Beverly Hills colour. I went to go and get my hair and makeup done. I'm sorry if you've heard this 100 times. He sent me to get my manicure, pedicure and my hair done at the Beverly Hills Hotel. It's my favourite hotel even to this day. We're hoping to go back this year. I came back and I had love notes all the way around the hotel suite, and then the final one led me outside to the balcony where there was all fairy lights, which was, I only had 2 things that I wanted for my engagement, and one I did tell him don't do it in front of anybody in public. The second one was that I wanted fairy lights, and I never told him that. and there was fairy lights. It all happened so fast, and there was this outside, and I thought that was the surprise. I opened it and there was a note saying, will you marry me? So this is so sentimental. My battery cut out because I'm talking so much. But yeah, that's a very sentimental bag to me. And so that one has a little story to go with it. The minis are really fab bags. I have another one. Let's talk about this one up here. So I have 2 minis. No, I don't. I have 3. I have 3 minis, 2 square minis, and 1 rectangle mini. So this is really good for you to compare the two. They're basically the same dimension. Obviously one is slightly longer and one is slightly taller. So they're both really great bags. I'll compare them both crossbody, and it all depends. I would say it depends on your proportion, which one would suit you more. I'm lucky that I'm 5'6", which is a real average height, and I can kind of get away with most bags. I can just about pull off really big bags, and I can also pull off small bags. So yeah, they're both really great mini bags, but I would just try them on to see which one suits you best. This is a velvet one. I absolutely love it. I should definitely wear it more often. It's a really good evening bag, really good bag to travel in, and I do think that velvet is such a beautiful texture, really photogenic, which is something important to me, and I just love like the vintage vibe of velvet bags. I love velvet as a fabric anyway. This is my pearl bag. I have 2 pearl bags. This one here. It started that I very first fell in love with this one. Everybody knows I love pearls, and that does come from my love for Chanel, because for me, Chanel, pearls, it all kind of goes together. So that is actually where my love for pearls started. This bag I wanted for my wedding in 2015. I couldn't afford it at the time. I was saving for the wedding. I had my company for about, not the blogging, I had my company for about 2 years. I was blogging but not making any money blogging, like bare minimum. It was literally just a hobby. I was setting up a company and I was earning-ish, but it was, like I always say, that just because you've got enough money to pay for something doesn't mean that you can afford it. You have to be able to pay for it twice over. That's how I see it. So if I buy myself something like this, I want to know that I have the money twice over to buy it. That's what affording means to me, not physically having enough money in the bank. But I've had my time when I was a student or just barely making my rent, and I would go and buy a pair of shoes. I've been there, done that. Don't worry, don't feel bad, we've all been there. Just make sure you don't start living off credit and overdraft and stuff like that. Like, there's a line. So yeah, I could physically afford it, but couldn't. Like, I didn't, you know, I'll just explain myself. Then when I had my Ritz wedding a few years later, somebody that follows me notified me this was somewhere pre-loved, and I bought it immediately. It was a quarter of the price. I think people didn't realise how expensive it was when it came out. I was so happy. It looked unused. It's so sentimental for me. Things always come back around, and it was just meant to be that I had it. So I finally got to have that for my legal wedding. Then a company offered me a small classic flap covered in pearls. Not as many pearls as this, but quite a lot. And it was a press bag. And I said in my other video I would explain what a press bag is. So a Chanel press bag is, they do 2 types of press bags. Like, they do a client VIP bag, which a lot of them are fake, so I would just stay away from this kind of bag. They do a client VIP bag where you have to spend a good fair amount. I might just about qualify it. Like, you have to have a good selection of ready-to-wear, not just accessories. You also have to buy ready-to-wear. The mistake I make, just because I buy whenever I see something, and I travel as well, is you should, actually that's no excuse to a lot of my friends that buy a lot of Chanel travel, you have to stick to the same Chanel person basically, because they're the ones that will put you on the list to get invited to events, to shows, to have the VIP present, and they're really beautiful. Like, they're so meaningful. This year they gave a blanket or a cushion. The year before that, it's normally like for Christmas or something, you got a hat, and it would mean the world to me. And I think that Chanel will really look after their paying customers, which I love that. Dior do that as well. And you feel so special when it's really meaningful. But I would love to receive one as a gift, but I wouldn't want to buy one. And it said press inside, which isn't actually a a client VIP present, that would say no resale or something inside, and it will have a label on. And normally people don't tend to buy it because it's a privilege to receive one. It's really special, and you obviously love Chanel enough to spend that much that you love it and you can't buy them. So the press bags are bags that they gift to editors and sometimes VIP clients. They don't have a serial number, they're not for resale, they don't go in a collection, they're just these one-off bags, and it said press inside. So I knew it was an authentic bag, but I didn't like it that it was like a press bag. I didn't want it, so I gave it back when I realised that, and then I went on the hunt for one. 2 seasons later, this came out. I put my name down for it and I love it. It's a tweed mini with pearls, gold hardware, fits my iPhone Plus perfectly at the back, and I really love it. I think it's so chic. I've seen the new pearl one coming out. I can't wait to see it because I'm either going to love that or think that it's a bit much. I think I'm probably going to love it, and if I do really want to have that and have 3 pearl bags, then so be it. But I really hope it's not one of them bags that gets bombarded on Instagram, because that's really going to put me off. And I know that that's rich coming from an influencer that is a part of that world, but I am still very much a customer, especially places like Chanel, when I clearly spend a lot of my time and money there, and I still want to enjoy it as a customer, and I don't want to see something being too bombarded. Like, by all means work with influencers, and of course that would be completely contradiction, me saying that. I don't mean it that way, I just mean don't. I hope it's not everywhere. And sometimes it's not even the brand that works, it's not even the brand's doing, it just becomes, I just hope that doesn't happen. So there they are, my pearl bags. Spoke to you about the velvet. I'll speak to you about, what are these called? Wallets on a chain. There's a grey one somewhere, but I'll talk to you about these. No, actually, let me get you the other one, so you can talk about all 3 of them together. I have a lot to say about the wallet on a chain. Oh, here it is. Let's pop those back. So here are my 3 wallets on a chains. Who remembers back in the day when these used to be like £700? I remember when they used to be £770 and the lambskin would be £880. I remember when lambskin was more expensive, but now it's the same price, which I think it's good that they did that, because it was really cheapening the caviar. And yeah, I just think it was a really good decision that they did do that. So there's 3 types of, obviously you can get chevron and all kinds of wallet and chains, but the classic one is one like this, the quilted, which is very popular in the lambskin, and like this is an example of like a seasonal piece. So, and that's a bit silvery. I actually wanted the grey one of this, like the grey baby blue one, and I bought this pre-loved, and I do actually really like it. So I am a huge fan of Chanel wallet on a chains. They are great for shopping. They fit the bare minimum in which you need. It's really bad for your shoulders and your back and your posture to be carrying a huge bag around. So try and bear that in mind. When you're going shopping, you don't need a lot. Especially when you're going something like food shopping, or, you know, picking the kids up from school, or running errands. Phone, credit card, lipstick, keys. It actually fits more than what you think. It fits an iPhone Plus perfectly. I used to literally only wear these, and the only reason why I stopped is because I need my vlogging camera a lot, but I still keep them because they are the most practical bag for travelling. I always wear it crossbody when I go travelling. I have my passport, my bank card, allergy tablets and any of my allergy things, and my boarding pass, because there's nothing worse than losing any of those things when you're travelling. There, oh, your passport, of course. They're your essential things, and because they are around you like that the whole time, you know where they are. Every time you need to get your passport and boarding pass out, you know where they are. You've got children and bags. I can't recommend it enough to have one of these. They're great for the evening. They're great to pack for travelling. I find them very practical, and it's a great starting point to have a bag. I wish I could wear them more, but because of the whole blogging thing, I don't. But Another good tip is if you want something, like I'll just tell you the story of this rose gold bag. I really wanted it in the classic flap size like that. And I went with my gut feeling of learning that lesson of buying too many colourful bags. That was when I was just coming out of that, and I thought, Claire, don't buy the rose gold. It was about 3,400. I knew I'd probably get a little bit bored of it. I knew I wouldn't wear it as much as something like this or a grey or a beige one. It's a bit shiny. I had a gut feeling that I wasn't going to wear it that much, and it was a lot of money. So I went with the wallet on a chain to get the rose gold out of my system in my collection. It was a special piece. I loved it, and I'm really happy that I did that because I still really like it. It's not a huge trend at the moment to have a rose gold bag, but it will definitely come back around. I'm not one for trends anyway. I wear a lot of rose gold jewellery. It's really great for the evening, really great for holiday, really great for travelling, and an all-round great bag. But if you want to have something like, I don't know, you like bright yellow, I would go for a bright yellow wallet on a chain than a bright yellow classic flap. Obviously if you love bright yellow and you're a colourful person, but if you're like me that likes to dip in colour now and again, but you're very conscious of how much you're spending, believe it or not I am, and you want to wear a yellow bag but you know in your gut that you're not going to wear it all the time, get something like this, or a fabric bag, because the fabric classic flaps are a lot cheaper as well. So I think, oh, I've got my Duville, my backpack. Oh, we've actually got quite a few to go. Let's talk about these two. Actually, we're probably about halfway through. This is a bag that I needed at the time. I was working, my phone keeps going mad over there. I was working, doing my other job, more so than what I am doing blogging. I was having a lot of meetings, meeting a lot of clients, and I needed to carry my big diary around with me the whole time. Lots of paperwork and bits inside. I didn't have a baby blue bag. I wanted a baby blue classic flat, but it wasn't going to be practical for me. I saw this, it was exactly what I wanted. I love baby blue, and this is a coated Caviar, so it's very practical. It looks a bit shiny, but it's not actually painting. And it was perfectly practical, and I don't wear it as much as what I should, but I definitely will be wearing this more in the summer. It looks great with denim, looks great with grey. And it's not too big, not too small, and I don't have anything else like this, and it is quite an unusual bag, that one. This is one of my more recent bags. This is the matte leather lamb that I was telling you about. If I would have seen this brand new, I would have bought it, especially with gold hardware. It was one of the bags on my list. It's quite hard to come across pastel bags like this in classic colours. So I was really happy when I found that, pre-loved. And also a matte light colour. They do get more, you do the first time that you scuff them, because it does happen, you're a bit like, ugh. So buying this pre-loved, this was actually a gift, but having this pre-loved, it's already got the scuffs on it. It's not really going to get that much worse. So I actually quite like that about this bag. It looks super nice with grey. I love how like muted the baby pink is. I absolutely love that bag, and I've been wearing it a lot. My Chanel Duville tote. I remember when these were so hard to get hold of. I was one of the first to get one of these, obviously because I watch every collection. Like I generally will watch the show and then put in my order what I'm going to buy. Like I always tell you this, that I have more Chanel ready to wear than what I actually show. I don't actually show all of like my jumpers that I have or all the bits that I have, and I don't think I've ever done a Chanel ready to wear collection. But yeah, so I always put in my order and usually can get things that I want because I am regularly buying things. So I got this from the first collection that ever came, so you can see it has some discoloration. And like I said to you earlier, I'm not too precious with my bags. I do look after them, but after time they're going to get like this. When you compare this to, say, the Dior book tote, they're roughly the same price, and I didn't buy the Dior book tote just because this has so much more intricate detail, like the chain, the zip pockets inside, the different compartments, the popper, it fastens. I just think you get a lot for your money with this rather than a book tote that's literally, I do love that book tote, but I think I'd probably get another Chanel tote. I don't know, it's a difficult one, but I love this and I'm going to wear it until it physically falls apart, and when it does I will be replacing it because I think that Chanel started the canvas beach trend, and they're still doing it the best, I think. So I'm really happy with that. I really love that bag. I'm always taking it on holiday with me. What else do we have to talk about? We've spoken about all of them. The 2 rucksacks and my XL Jumbo, and then we are done. So this was one of the first bags that I bought. Chanel bags that I bought. It's a 90s backpack, and I love how heavy this hardware is. I love the 90s Chanel. It's my favourite era, and it's like Chanel is answering my prayers, because they are definitely bringing that back. Like the big CC jumpers, the CC Chanel logo everywhere. They're really bringing that back in force, but gosh, the prices are extortionate, but I can't resist it. It's the era that I love, and it's finally coming back around. It makes sense with the time in between. So anyway, the vintage bags are really well made, so if you want to start buying and investing into Chanel, you can't go wrong with the vintage. They're really well made. I'll leave some links below to where I love shopping and buying my vintage bits, but I bought that for New York Fashion Week about 5-6 years ago, and I don't use it that much, but I love having it in my collection, and I've got a really good one. It was really good quality. This is my other rucksack that I have. This is more of a new version. It's the Gabrielle backpack. I love the silver and gold hardware. I prefer it that the 90s one has the flap, but it's actually fine. Like I went around Vietnam traveling with this, and it didn't get ruined. Like even the bottom is not scuffed, nothing fell out, and it's quite a cool little bag. And I love that Gabrielle collection. That was the piece that I chose to get. And lastly, which is also one of my favourite bags, I use it a lot, is my Jumbo XL Classic Flap. This I'd wanted one for so long, and I'm so glad that I waited. It was around 5,000, very expensive. I actually saw one on a pre-loved website in the most beautiful muted nude colour. I nearly bought it, but I thought I don't need 2 bags like this, and I put it on my stories, and somebody did buy that one. So again, always follow my stories, because I always keep an eye on the bags that I have, and if I see them I do stories. So this I use a lot for travelling, particularly when I go to Paris, because when I'm travelling long haul, not all the time I take this. It depends where I'm going. Like somewhere like Vietnam, for example, I'm not going to drag that around Vietnam with me. If I'm going to go to Dubai or I'm going to go to Paris, completely different vibe. The kind of places where I'm going to be using this. I'm not going to take this by the paw or anything, but somewhere like the Eurostar where I'm going all the time, or when I'm travelling to London and back, or I'm in my flat in London and I have to work from home, I'll tend to go to a coffee shop. So this fits all of my charger, all of my laptop. Sometimes I will use it in the day. I don't use it for the gym or anything like that, but for me, with my workload, I also think it's a great mummy bag. I know lots of mums that have this bag. But for me, loving Chanel, it was one bag that I had to get off my list, and for me and my lifestyle, it's actually really practical. And I love it how it's zipped up, but you can put that on your suitcase. I would love to have the suitcase. They are very expensive, and the reason why I don't get one is because they're a bit on the small side for me, and I don't want to pay thousands for this suitcase, and it's actually quite small, so I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I mean, I would love one, but bearing the price, I think I'd rather buy something else. So that is the end of my Chanel video. I know I definitely made a mistake filming a 3-hour talking handbag video before this, and I'm sorry if that's affected it. I would love to hear your feedback. What was your favourite bag? Is there any Chanel information that you need to know? If I don't answer them, it means I'm going to answer them in another video, like really in depth, because there's only so much I can say in a comment. But short answers, of course I will. Anything else, I store it in my little pea brain, and I do it again in another video to make sure I've got it really covered. So let me know what your favourite bag was. Let me know if there's anything you need to know. More importantly, let me know if there's any way that I can change this to make it more useful, helpful, enjoyable. Maybe I'm talking too much. Maybe I don't know. I've used all of these bags before. They're in all of my vlogs. They're all over my Instagram. But let me know. Any feedback is very much appreciated, so that I can improve my videos and you find them more enjoyable. So I hope you enjoyed this video. The next video will be my Hermes collection. And the video after that will be my full handbag collection, which is well over 50 designer bags of all different brands. Hermes, Dior, Saint Laurent, Valentino, Fendi, Gucci, so many bags. And then I'll be doing my style hauls, refurbishing my walk-in wardrobe. I've got a closet organisation video, beauty organisation video already up. So lots of exciting content this year. Thank you for all your support so far. Thank you for all your comments. I'm really grateful that because of you I get to do this every day and film videos and talk for 3 hours about Chanel bags. I know that it's a two-way thing, and I really appreciate everyone watching. And anyone that's new, welcome. I hope that you now enjoy watching my videos. You'll know that I get very awkward when I sign off videos. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the next few videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.